Yes, are you visible?
Yes,
Anyone?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you're good.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
fine, fine, fine,
Sure.
fine. Yeah, fine. So today we are going to start Unit 1, non-conventional energy sources, and also yesterday we given some idea about energy sources, why we are going to use for non-conventional energy sources compared to the conventional energy systems. So in first unit we are going to what do you call elaborately discuss about introduction of energy scenario, then what do you mean by energy, then what do you mean by non-conventional energy and conventional energy, what are the types of available both non-conventional and conventional energy, what are the advantages using for non-conventional energy, and what is the difference between conventional and non-conventional energy. So introduction of energy scenario, if you take any kind of physical activity in this world, whether carried out by human beings or by nature, it may cause us because of the flow of energy in one form or other form. In terms of what I call, according to the first law of thermodynamics, it says energy can be created, not destroyed. So based on the word of energy itself is derived from the Greek word energy. That energy it comes from work input and work output. This is introduction of energy scenario. Then what do you mean by energy? So energy is one of the major inputs for the economic development of any country, either developing country or already developing country. Energy is one of the major inputs for economic development of any country. And also that developing countries, the energy sector assume a critical importance in the view of ever increasing energy needs, requiring huge investment to meet them. So based on the energy, already I explained about the first law of thermodynamics. So energy can be created, not destroyed. So according to the law, first law of thermodynamics, we have to focusing both what I call non-conventional energy sources systems. And second slide, it's clearly explained about energy can be classified into several types that based on the primary and secondary energy. So it may be called as solar energy and secondary energy called as what do you call diesel or petrol. So similar that we are going to see that commercial and non-commercial energy, renewable and non-renewable energy, conventional and non-conventional energy. So all of we know about that. Only we know non-conventional and conventional. So those names it has been classified in different forms. Either we can say renewable and non-renewable, or conventional and non-conventional, and then primary and secondary. All the names should be common only. Okay, all the names should be common. And also we are going to see that what do you mean by renewable energy. So last class we discussed about renewable energy, naturally available, and also whatever whenever we want to refill that energy, and we can use for proper applications. So that is called as renewable energy. So in renewable energy, in terms of second statement, it says that essentially inexhaustible energy resource on a human time scale. So when human time scale needed for energy, it may be useful for all developing countries and already developed countries. So this simple terms we can what you call explained about renewable energy, and also I explained about conventional and non-conventional. So another name may be asking for questions. What do you mean by so what is the another name of conventional dash, or another name of non-conventional? So you can answer renewable and non-renewable, commercial and non-commercial, primary and secondary energy. And why we need for energy, renewable energies? Why we need for renewable energy compared to the non non-renewable energy? Okay, don't take what you call confusing conventional and non-conventional, renewable and non-renewable. So the first point is goes that enormous potential. So already the energy can be what we call utilized in various sector. So based on the sector, we have to grade it in terms of what is the percentage of input getting for energy consumption. Based on the energy consumption, how energy output produce what we call the demands of the energy. The next, it plays important role in global outlook. The next, this non-conventional renewable energy pollution is free. When we are going to use for petrol and diesel compared to the renewable energy, in diesel and petrol having more pollution. But when we are going to use renewable energy, pollution will be less and also most abundant than compared to the what we call non-renewable energy, less maintenance of generator. So these points only we are focusing to use or need for renewable energy sources. And also already we explained about what we call two major sources of energy can be classified. One is conventional sources, that means non-renewable sources of energy. Next one is non-conventional sources, that is called as renewable sources of energy. So according to the non-renewable sources of energy, what are the different types available? And the second one is according to the non-conventional sources, what are the different types of energy available? Energy available for sources. So based on the conventional sources, we have to classify one commercial and non-commercial. So with respect to commercial, we have classified coal, petroleum and electricity. And based on the non-commercial, what we call, we are going to classify these three things: firewood, straw and dried. And I think that the word is what we call hide. I can't see that. Dried dump something will be there. So non-conventional sources, based on the non-conventional sources, we have to classify bioenergy, solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, and the energy from what we call just that urban. I think urban waste. One second. Yeah, energy from urban waste. So with respect to non-conventional energy, we are going to discuss about in detail each and every units. So this also we classified in terms of how energy can be formed. So last slide we see that non-conventional energy sources and conventional sources. In terms of what we call renewable energy, how it has been formed with related to solar energy, bioenergy, wind energy, geothermal, hydrogen and fuel cell. Then also hydropower. So fuel cell basically working principle of hydrogen. So with the help of hydrogen only, the chemical reaction acting on input of the device and how much fuel can be derived from chemical reaction. So after the chemical reaction, the output of the value should be getting through the fuel cell process. In fuel cell process also, plus sign and minus sign should be needed. So that also we are going to learn in detail in one unit. The next, what is the difference between conventional sources of energy and non-conventional sources of energy? The first point, conventional sources of energy are also known as non-renewable sources of energy, whereas non-conventional sources of energy called as renewable sources of energy. So that renewable sources of energy, already we discussed why needed for renewable energy. So why we needed for renewable energy compared to the non-conventional energy means the most and what we call important point is pollution is free when compared to the diesel and petrol also. The next one, in conventional sources of energy, both commercial and industrial purpose we can use. That means coal, petrol, diesel, whatever we are going to use for conventional system, it may be useful for commercial and industrial purpose. So it may be asked for 1 mark questions. Dash, it can be used for commercial and industrial purpose, or which energy it can be used for commercial and industrial purpose. So you can write what I call conventional sources of energy, or like what I call non-renewable energy sources. The next, when compared to the conventional sources of energy, so it says that they are mainly used for household purpose only. So it can be used only for household purpose only. So when we are going to discuss about non-conventional sources of energy, solar, wind, all sources of energy mainly used for household purpose only. Then third point, with respect to conventional sources of energy, it can be considered as one of the reason for the causes of pollution. So already I explained about different types of emission which can be produced in terms of diesel and petrol. Yesterday we were discussed about what we call emission, and what are all the emission used for or produced for diesel engine and the petrol engine also. How to control those emissions. So when we are going to controlling of NOx or what we call nitrous of oxide, so we have to use for catalytic converter. And also if we are going to use for what we call cerium oxide, how to control NOx. So when we are going to use like biodiesel or any biomass energy conversion process, it can be added small part of what we call oxide, cerium oxide. So that cerium oxide definitely somehow it can be reduced for NOx emission. So not only for NOx cerium oxide, and also it can be used for exhaust gas recirculation method. So exhaust gas recirculation method, so it can be employed both what we call diesel engine and petrol engine, and also we can use for supercharged engine and turbocharged engine. So depends upon the supercharged and the turbocharged engine also, we have to focusing on what we call the temperature level should be maintained with related to what we call that engine design factor. Then also we can go for catalytic converter. So those method mainly we can controlling of NOx emission. Again I am telling that how to control NOx emission by method of controlling what we call EGR. The EGR is nothing but exhaust gas recirculation. The next one, catalytic converter. If you go for catalytic converter, it has been converting main chemical equations. So that is most important. So all of you check that equations, how to related those reaction with respect to controlling of NOx emission. When compared to the conventional sources of energy, in non-conventional sources of energy, these are not responsible for the causes of pollution, because this non-conventional sources of energy, already we mentioned one slide, pollution is free. So there is no pollution to be created in environment. And also you can see that already explained yesterday class, you can see North India, all the transport, even two-wheeler, then four-wheeler, whatever types of vehicle, mostly they are using for environmentally friendly fuel. So when we are going to use environmentally friendly fuel, what will happen? To improve the air quality, and also to reduce the engine emission. So that non-conventional sources of energy, less pollution, there is no pollution, so we can use directly. And also when compared to the last point, conventional sources of energy, coal, then fossil fuels, that means liquid fuels called as petrol and diesel are the two examples. It may be asked, give some example of conventional sources of energy. So you can give for what we call liquid fuels. So liquid fuels or fossil fuels or coal, whatever method we can use in conventional sources of energy. Whereas non-conventional sources of energy, in terms of nuclear energy, solar energy, and other things also. You know that wind energy, tidal energy, then next hydro energy, whatever energy pollutions are free, that called as non-conventional sources of energy. And moreover that when goes to the non-conventional sources of energy, availability is more. But that factor we have to take care how to analyze the energy consumption. So based on the energy consumption, we need to require input data. So based on the input data, what is the demand of particular what do you call product or field. Suppose when we are going to take solar energy, how to convert solar energy, what are all the applications of solar energy, what are all the advantages compared to the conventional sources of energy. So similar that all energy with related to energy consumption. Energy consumption mainly focusing on electricity. So to produce electricity, so with respect to different types of non-conventional energy, how the power input and how to produce power output. That depends upon the efficiency. So when I'm going to use any kind of non-conventional energy, so what is the efficiency of particular energy, or what is the effort, or what is the output. So those things we are going to deal about energy consumption. So when compared to the conventional source of energy, non-conventional sources of energy, what we call nowadays we are motivating to create what we call awareness, and also enhancing to quality improvement, and also we are creating for that means writing more proposal to get funding through various agencies like DST, DRDO, MNRE, so many funding agency available. So those agency they come forward and they are giving for project proposal. So you have to take for wind energy. So if you take wind energy, what is the energy consumption? Where you are going to install that wind energy power plant? Then after install the power plant, what is the effort you have taken? So then after the effort, what is the your significant or what is the contribution towards wind power plant? So similar that solar, if you take solar power plant through what we call during the sun time, it may be produced more power, but during the raining time, what we call power, it can be produced very less. So when we are going to compare raining time and what we call sun time, so what is the effect of energy consumption? So those things we have to classify in terms of various energy consumption available in non-conventional sources of energy. So with related to non-conventional energy sources, when compared to the conventional sources, so mainly what we call to avoid the pollution, then also controlling of NOx emission or carbon monoxide and also carbon dioxide. When we are going to use that conventional energy sources in petrol and diesel engine, it may be produce a lot of emission and vertical. As you told, these are all the emission. So what are the effect will be affecting for human things? When we are going to what we call see that NOx emission, what are the what we call problem will be created human things? Can anyone tell? Student, when we are going to use NOx emission, particularly diesel or petrol, what are the problems creating for humans? Not only
Emission of
for
carbon dioxide combined.
yeah, not only for environment. So I am asking with related to human factors. Suppose we are going to see that or what we call creating of pollution of NOx. So what is the effect of humans?
Yeah,
Global
lungs
warming.
problem, health
Hmm.
effects.
Okay. Next. So in case hydrocarbon when we are going to use in petrol or diesel, so what are the
Global
effects?
warming.
global warming, any other things. So these are all the things, basic terms. When I'm going to handling the class, those questions it may be interact with you. So definitely those questions which help to the your MCQ test also. And the next class, I'm going to see that what is a pattern. I mean a test pattern and what is a procedure. Then how many marks distributed for test one, test two, test three. Then quality assessment. Next, if you want to take seminar through Google Meet, whatever may be. Or if anybody interested to write a paper, please call me. We will sit together and we can start what I call like a review paper. Already I told one class, already I published one paper related to renewable energy. That means using variable compression ratio in biodiesel. So that paper I completed review paper and I published Elsevier journal. That journal impact factor around 13 point something. So that journal, when we started, one final year student, so he came and asked me. So me and that student and my guide, we sat together and finalized, and what do you call, after completion of that paper we uploaded, then finally got the acceptance after 2 years. I uploaded that paper 2017, but not 2017, 2016. Then I got acceptance from Elsevier 2018. So based on that paper only, that student is working core company in Bangalore. That is most important thing. If you are going to interest, what do you call, in your resume, build up extracurricular activities, paper publishing. So all of you know about, like so many students are involving to pay, what I call, publishing the paper and asking the concerned faculty. If you are interested, you can approach what I call through my mobile. We can sit and start that work also. That is for your resume updation. So when we are going to use for carbon monoxide, what is the effect to be made in terms of what I call humans? Anyone? Anyone? Don't tell our same answer one students. So this is help for
Causes
your
breathing problems, sir. Damages our
next.
lungs.
Okay. So how to control that carbon monoxide? I'm not asking with respect to catalytic converter or those things. So how to what I call, you know, incomplete combustion and complete combustion. Yes or no? So how to solve that carbon monoxide chemical reaction? So first we should know that incomplete combustion and complete combustion. When we are going to use air plus fuel in internal combustion engine, that means equal amount of air plus petrol. Okay, I mean 50% of air plus 50% of fuel go to the internal combustion engine or ICE engine. What will happen during the suction, compression, power, and the exhaust stroke? All the unwanted gas goes to the outside. If you are using less amount of air and more amount of fuel, that may be occurred for what we call incomplete combustion. So we have to use proper amount of air plus fuel in ICE engine, so that what we call, we are avoiding that incomplete combustion. That means completely burned. Okay, incomplete means when we are going to use any fuel, it should not be incomplete. It should be completely burned, so that if completely burned, what will happen to avoid that or controlling the less pollution. So when I am going to say that carbon monoxide, how to significant incomplete combustion and combustion. Anyone? That means that is chemical reaction. Carbon monoxide, suppose you are going to take incomplete combustion. What is the reaction? How to solve? That means simple example, C plus O2. In O2 may be taking for 0.5%. That means half percentage of oxygen. So that may be occurred for what we call incomplete combustion. So similar that when we are going to use for hydrocarbon. So in hydrocarbon, when using for petrol or diesel, it may be occurred for incomplete and complete combustion. So what is the reaction of incomplete combustion of hydrocarbon and complete combustion of hydrocarbon? And also NOx. NOx, you can see that when we are going to use fuel, how to solve incomplete combustion and how to create complete combustion. Moreover, you know that lambda equal to 1, lambda less than 1, lambda greater than 1. That is most important. Lambda is nothing but stoichiometric ratio. Already you learned about thermal engineering, thermodynamics also. So lambda is nothing but stoichiometric ratio. Stoichiometric ratio is nothing but what you call the ratio of mass of fuel divided by mass of air. That means equal amount of fuel to the equal amount of air, or reverse also we can say mass of air to the mass of fuel. So that called as stoichiometric ratio. Lambda greater than 1 means that is called as two things I told, rich mixture and lean mixture. So lean mixture, it goes to the lambda greater than 1, and then rich mixture goes to the lambda less than 1. So based on the air and fuels only, we are going to consider as whether it is incomplete or complete combustion. Okay, incomplete or complete combustion. So now you can tell about how to react when I am going to use as a fuel diesel or petrol. It is produced hydrocarbon or nitrous oxide. Already I told CO2. CO, it has been produced in terms of incomplete C plus O2, then some reaction. Either it produced water or whatever. The same thing, if I am going to use NOx, first case, incomplete reaction means what is the equation? Then complete combustion means what is the equations? So if you tell this answer, we can close, and before that we want to take the attendance. Anyone? Already you studied for what we call chemical reaction, thermal engineering, thermodynamics, and plus 2 also. How to react in incomplete combustion of NOx emission. Not emission, forget about emission, NOx. How to react NOx complete combustion. Anyone? Quick. Swapnesh is there. Nisha. Yes. Are you audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, anyone can tell how to react that NOx emission, what do you call, incomplete combustion and complete combustion. Already I given example, if you take CO, so it may be considered as two things, C plus O2. That O2 may be of oxygen, of means 0.5%. So what will happen? It may be produced, what do you call, incomplete combustion. So what do you call, that reaction it not be completed while doing suction, compression, power and the exhaust. So what will happen? To create more pollution and also affecting the environment. Similar that any idea about how to solve that equations NO2 or NO or NO3, whatever may be, N plus what? I gave all the idea and input also, how to solve those things. Any idea? How to react incomplete combustion and complete combustion? Anyone? Based on the chemical equations. Or you have to find out NOx, incomplete combustion and complete combustion, and hydrocarbon also. From next class I will ask. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Or if you know answer you can tell. I can ready. I given example also CO, C plus 0.5% oxygen. So that maybe or surely happen for incomplete combustion. Some reaction will be happening. So similar that hydrocarbon, how it has been solved incomplete and complete combustion. Then NOx, or NO3 or NO2, whatever may be, how it has been solved based on the incomplete and complete combustors. So next class I'll ask, you can check it. Don't any class next hour? Next hour I'm asking. I have timetable. Next hour I'm asking. Anybody having class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
think which class?
Yes, sir. Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence.
Who's taking?
Sir.
Shamila madam.
Oh, I think free elective. Free elective.
No,
No, not free.
No, sir, it's
software, sir.
software
Artificial
compulsory.
intelligence.
Okay. Sabita madam is taking. Who's taking?
Shamila madam.
Shamila madam. Okay.
Karnagaran sir.
Yeah. CSE department. Okay. So meanwhile, I'll prepare lesson plan and some PPT. After completion of those things, I'll upload to what I call Google Meet. Now answer your attendance. Siva Sundar,
Sir, present, sir. Present,
number
sir.
2. Yeah, number 2.
Roshan, present sir.
Roshan present. Number 5. Yeah. Number 14.
Sir, present, sir.
The rest of the students, please put mute. Rest of the students, please put mute. So I will call one by one register number. Listen. So rest of the students, please put mute. Number 14.
Sir, present.
Number 26.
Sir, present sir.
Number 32.
Sir, present, sir.
35. Vijay Anand. 36.
Present sir.
37. Pranav. 40. Joel.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
48.
Present, sir.
57.
Present, sir.
63.
Present, sir.
64.
Present, sir.
65.
Present, sir.
67.
Present, sir.
74.
Present, sir.
79.
Present, sir.
83.
Present, sir.
87.
Present, sir.
94.
Present sir.
96.
Present sir.
99. 116.
Present, sir.
121.
Present, sir.
134. 136. 136. Krishna. Krishna.
Sir, 136 present sir.
136.
Sir, 136 present.
136. Okay, fine. 152.
Present sir. Present.
156.
So present.
156.
Present, sir.
158.
Sir, present, sir.
163.
Present, sir.
166.
Present sir.
Ajay. 170.
Present sir.
176.
Present, sir.
183.
Present sir.
184.
Present, sir.
192.
Present, sir.
196. Caleb 196, Caleb Sandosh 197,
Present, sir.
206,
Sir.
207,
Present, sir.
208,
Present, sir.
214,
Present, sir.
218,
Present, sir.
219,
Present, sir.
228,
Present, sir.
231,
Present, sir.
238,
Present, sir.
239,
Present, sir.
247,
Present, sir.
254,
Yes, sir.
257,
Present, sir.
259,
Present, sir.
260,
Present, sir.
263,
Present, sir.
226,
Present, sir.
280, 280, Rahul, 281,
Present, sir.
Akash, 282,
Sir, present, sir.
285,
Sir, present, sir.
285,
Present, sir.
297,
Present, sir.
305, Sujin,
Sir, present, sir.
absent is sir, 35, 37,
Sir,
30,
sir, 35.
35. Okay,
35.
37,
Yes, sir.
196, 280. And today I'm going to tell last suggestion and humble request. All of you join before 5 minutes or before 10 minutes. And also, what I call, I will not allow tomorrow onwards if anybody joining after 9 o'clock or after 10 o'clock because people are watching all those things. Is it clear, student? Yeah, I'm what I call
Yes, sir.
telling suggestion. So don't take any misunderstanding. So take care about your attendance and also what I call it, properly log in time and out time. Any doubt? Today class, any doubt?
No, sir.
So if you are going to wish to write for paper, please contact me. We can start. That is for your what you call extracurricular activities. Okay. Apart from that, any doubt? Shall we
No, sir.
leave?
Yes, sir. Bye,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, 35 present, sir. I had problem in my mic. So, no one
Yeah. 55. Okay.
35.
55. Okay. 30.
35.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. No problem.
35. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I put present. No problem.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Oh.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Vishal, yes.